Now in this part I will compare the results for zero order, first order and second order reaction which I have obtained in the previous parts. So it will be a summary for the reactions kinetics we have studied so far. So I made 3 columns. This is for zero order reaction. This column is for first order reaction and this is for second order reaction. Now first point is the differential form of the rate equation, which is this is the rate of disappearance of reactant and it is K into C to the power 0, that is equals to K for zero order. And for first order it is C to the power 1 and for second order it is like this. So it is C to the power 0, it is C to the power 1, C to the power 2. These are the concentration of the reactants at time t at which the rate is measured. Now second point is the integrated rate equation. This is the differential form of the rate equation. Now we will write the integrated rate equation. Here we have obtained C equals to minus Kt plus C0. After integration we got this. Here we have ln C0 by C equals to Kt and here we got 1 by C equals to Kt plus 1 by C0. Now we can write this in another forms, on alternative forms also, no problem. Now what is the unit of the rate constant? For this has been discussed earlier, all this has been discussed earlier, just a summary of all the 3 at a glance. Now here the rate constant has the unit mole per liter per second. Why? This is K and here it is mole per liter for this C and for time it is second inverse. Now here we have this C and C will cancel out in unit and we have this time only, so it is second inverse. And here it will be liter per mole per second. Since this C square will come here and 1 mole per liter will cancel out, there will be another mole per liter at the denominator, so it will give you liter per mole and the second inverse. So it is the unit of the rate constant. Now fourth point is when we try to plot this rate versus concentration. Now when we try to plot rate, that is minus dc dt versus concentration, so we see this is constant, so this gives us a plot like this one. So it is independent of the concentration. Now when we plot rate versus concentration for first order, what it will give? See, it is y equal to mx having intercept 0. So it will be a straight line passing through origin. So with increase in concentration, rate increases proportionally. Now here, in case of second order reaction, what will be the rate? See, it is c square. So y equal to c square. So it will give the equation of a parabola. So with increase in concentration, rate increases but with respect to its square. Now from the integrated rate equation, we can have the values of, we can have the plot of concentration over time. So when we plot this concentration with time, we have, this is a equation of a straight line, so it will start from C0 and it will be a negative slope. So here the slope is minus k. From the slope we can have the value of k. Now when we plot here ln c versus t, so it will give us straight line with a negative slope, not with c versus t. It is ln c versus t that will give us a negative slope. Here also the slope is minus k. And another form of this equation is c equal to c0 into e to the power minus kt. So if we plot for the same, but when we plot it with c versus t, that is concentration of the reactant versus time, it will start from c0 and it will fall exponentially and will meet the x-axis, that is the time axis, asymptotically, that is it will meet at infinite time. So it guarantees that the reaction will not come to an end. And for this one we have to plot 1 by c versus time. So when we plot 1 by c versus time, that is also equation of a straight line, but it will start from 1 by c0 and go upward. So here measuring the angle we can have the value of the rate constant. So here the slope is k. Now we come to half-life. Half-life for zero order reaction was obtained to be C0 by 2K. So it is a function of the initial concentration. Now for first order it was constant, independent of initial concentration, and for second order it was dependent but inversely proportional to the initial concentration. Now if we try to plot T half against the initial concentration, then we see this is an equation of a straight line having intercept 0. So with increase in concentration, T half will increase. Now as the reaction proceeds, the concentration falls, so we are approaching towards the left direction. Now as C0 falls, we see T half falls. So more quickly the reaction will occur and we will have the reaction to come to an end. And here when we plot T half versus initial concentration, it gives us a straight line since this is constant. So as the reaction proceeds, as the concentration falls, the time required for 50% completion remains the same. That is, for each half-life, for each 50% completion, a finite time is required. So now we cannot divide, we cannot make a figure 0 by dividing it by 2 multiple times. So we can say to make this C0 0, by dividing 2 we have to divide it for infinite times. So for infinite times, finite time will be required. So it will take infinite time for its completion. So in short, it will never complete. Now here do we see so this you see it will give us a rectangular hyperbola. So as the reaction proceeds, C0 falls, concentration falls, and see that T half increases, and when it is tends to 0, it is tends to infinite. So when the reaction will come to an end, it will take infinite time for 50% completion. So it will never complete. So first order and second order reaction does not complete, but zero order reaction comes to completion. Now in this part I will also discuss the basic differences between order and molecularity, which I have told you using different examples, but I will make a summary here. So what is the basic difference between order and molecularity? You have a reaction. To have the order, first you have to do is write the rate equation. What is the rate equation? It is rate equals to rate constant into concentration of A to the power alpha into concentration of B to the power beta. You don't know what is the order, so you go for the experiment. You perform the experiment, and I have told you the technique how to find the order of a reaction, and through experiments you find the order right here, and that will give you the experimentally obtained rate equation. So you got the value of alpha and got the value of beta. And if it is another reactant, there is another reactant, say C, so it will be gamma, so you have also the value of gamma. Now, order of the reaction is alpha with respect to A and is beta with respect to B, but the order of the reaction is, the overall reaction is alpha plus beta. So what is the order of a reaction? Order of a reaction is the sum of the powers of the concentration terms present in the rate equation that is obtained experimentally. So this is the definition of order. Now what is molecularity? Molecularity is the number of reactant molecules that participates in an elementary reaction. So it is the number of reactant molecules, just count the reactant molecules that participate in an elementary reaction. Obviously the reaction must occur in a single step, then only the definition of molecularity is valid, otherwise not. So it is a theoretical quantity and it is an experimental quantity. Now what about for a multi-step reaction? For multi-step reaction, you perform the experiment and get the order as defined. So in that multi-step reaction, you can find that alpha may be equal to A and not equal to A. May be equal to A or not equal to A. And you may find that beta may be equal to the stoichiometric coefficient B and may not be equal to B. So for multi-step reaction, if any reactant participate in the rate determining process, then its contribution will be counted in the rate equation. And if any reactant appears in the first step, its contribution may not be counted in the rate equation. So you have to perform the experiment to know what molecules, the molecules which are contributing. Now molecularity for a multi-step reaction is irrelevant. So if you get a multi-step reaction, you first get the, say it is intermediate and it is product. So there are two steps here, reactant to intermediate, intermediate to product. This is the simplest multi-step reaction. Now here the molecularity for the overall reaction is meaningless. You have to assign molecularity for each elementary step. This is an elementary step, this is an elementary step. Combining this, you have the multi-step reaction. So for this elementary step, the number of molecules, count the number of molecules present in this elementary step. That will be the molecularity of this step only. And if you assign the molecularity for this step, also you count the number of reactant molecules, and that will be the molecularity of this step. So overall molecularity is a meaningless term. Now the third point, order cannot be predicted from the balanced equation. So you have the balanced equation here, you cannot predict the order, you have to perform the experiment. But molecularity can be predicted accurately from the balanced equation, but the balanced equation must correspond to the reaction which is definitely elementary. So it will be molecularity can be predicted accurately from the balanced equation of an elementary reaction. You must not forget this. Now the fourth point. Now the fourth point is order may be 0 or integer, and it may even be fractional and negative. This is interesting. It may even be fractional and negative. Now I have already introduced you with 0 order, first order and second order reaction. But I have not till introduced you with the fractional and negative order. I will introduce it to you in part 16. In part 15 I will deal with pseudo first order reaction. Now order, you see, it may be 0, it may be 1, it may be 2, and it may be fractional, it may be 1.5, 2.5, and even it may be negative. So wait for the part 16 to have the idea about fractional and negative orders. Now what about molecularity? Since it is the number of molecules that participate in an elementary reaction, it is only an integer and cannot be 0, fractional, negative. It is only an integer since it is a number of molecules. Now the last point is that even for a particular reaction, order may change. Order may change for a particular reaction depending upon the pressure, temperature and concentration of reactants. So order may be tuned by pressure, may be tuned by temperature, and it also depends on the concentration of the reactants. For example, when you have a enzyme controlled reaction, so you have enzyme plus substrate arrow product plus enzyme, you get the enzyme back. Now this enzyme is associated with a turnover number. Now if the number of substrate molecules is very large, then all the enzyme molecules will be adhered to substrate at any moment. So the maximum rate that an enzyme can show, that will be exhibited since there are enough number of substrate molecules. So at this point the order of the reaction with respect to substrate will be 0 since all the pockets of the enzyme are occupied. But when the concentration of substrate falls, then all the pockets of enzyme molecules will not be occupied, then the reaction will be first order with respect to substrate. So when the concentration of substrate is very high, it is 0 order with respect to substrate, and when the concentration of the substrate is low, it will be first order with respect to substrate. So concentration of the reactants may control the order. Similarly, the decomposition of HI molecules upon gold catalyst. When high pressure is maintained, then all the sites are occupied, then it will be 0 order. But at low pressure, it will be no more 0 order. So pressure can tune. But here we have, so it will be 4, sorry. Now molecularity, you cannot change molecularity by changing pressure, temperature and concentration of the reactant, since it is the number of reactant molecules that participate in a step of a reaction. So that is the balanced equation, and balanced equation is not controlled by pressure, temperature and concentration. So molecularity is independent of such things. Molecularity is independent on such things, on such parameters. So in part 15 I will discuss about the pseudo first order reaction, and in part 15, and in part 16 I will discuss about the fractional and the negative orders.